While I agree with Paul George that there's been a lot of talking and a lot of things, negative things said about the Clippers, I definitely think that he needs to let his gameplay do the talking more than his mouth at this point. Now, what I'm talking about, you can read in clutchpoints.com and a couple other sites. Paul George has a different approach to this season, and he's basically addressing all the haters towards him and the Clippers, saying that, he's coming out to destroy anybody who he plays against on the floor and any of the chatter and kill any of the chit chatter about the Clippers in regards to them not being good enough and they can't stay healthy and all the negative things that was said towards them. And as I said, as you see here, Paul George speaks on that. And as I said before, that, I agree with Paul George. I just said there's another video I spoke about this on where Paul George spoke on a topic similar to this. I made a video about a couple weeks ago, so you can definitely check it out. But as I said before, my motto is shut up and go out there and play. And that's no disrespect towards Paul George, because a lot of people may think I don't like Paul George. I just don't like the fact that he's came up small in big moments. That's what I don't like about Paul George. Like him as a player, as a whatever. Like, I don't have nothing against Paul George specifically or personally, like maybe some people think that I do who's listened to me talk before. I don't. It's just the fact that I need you to go out there and prove what you're saying. And him saying what he's saying right now, going out there, shutting everybody up, and a lot of chit chatter around the Clippers. It's been that way the whole time around the Clippers. It ain't just happened this year. It ain't happened just last year. It's been that way the whole time since you and Kawhi has been on this team. And me looking at this team, I want this team to succeed. I want this team to win a championship, and it's no doubt about it. But at the same time, they have to go out there and do it and be healthy enough to do so. And the biggest knock on Paul George, maybe along with Kawhi Leonard, is health issues. Because when you think about how talented both of them are, the only reason why people are saying negative things about this team and have all these negative connotations about the team itself is because all the talent that you have and all the building block pieces around you, and having Ty Lue at the helm as your coach and all these things, people think you're good enough to win a championship if you're on the floor and you're available to do so. And Paul George went out last year with a hyperextended knee, and it shut him down for the playoffs. Kawhi was out there by himself until his knee started giving him issues. And then years before that, Kawhi was out with his knee issue. And then before that, it was the play-in tournament where Paul George caught COVID before the play-in tournament and couldn't play, which was a breaking news thing. It's always something with the Clippers. And I understand why people say the things they say negative about this team. But I do understand also that injuries happen. I do understand that, the Clippers, they're not trying to win a championship. And I feel like that's where I agree with Paul George. And I think I speak for a lot of Clippers on that team. And, a lot of fans as well. You act like Kawhi and PG are not trying to stay healthy. You act like they're intentionally just, trying to get hurt, intentionally doing load managing. And that's what, the media kills me with. They really do. And I can't stand it, because it's like, what player really wants to get hurt? Like, what player wants to, I want to get hurt so I can be out all this long time and my stock go down. And then when it comes to sign a contract, a new contract, and try to get a new contract, I want to be hurt so I could take less money, because I don't care about my money, my contract, my lifestyle. I don't care about, maintaining things where they are. And I don't care about my image as a player, because as long as I'm hurt, as long as I'm getting paid, that's all that matters. I don't think really no player thinks that way. I think the media just kind of sort of takes our mind sometime and twist it and make some of us think that, because of what we don't see by that player, which is that player not being healthy. And that's the reason why I agree with Paul George on everything he's saying. I hope the Clippers do go out there and shut everybody up. I hope they go out there and cut all the chit chatter and all the noise and all the BS and all the fake laughs and all the things that come along with it, because on his show, Podcast P, he's actually interviewed somebody that has spoken very negative of him. Or maybe not of him, but his team and his teammates, and mainly his superstar teammate in Kawhi Leonard. And I was very shocked that Paul George even had Stephen A. on there. Stephen A. speaks highly of Paul George. He does. But when you disrespect, if it's me and Paul George, this is where me and him is a lot different as a person. If it's me, if it was my podcast, I wouldn't have had Stephen A. on there. If you disrespect Kawhi Leonard, if you disrespect Terrence Mann, if you disrespect Marcus Moore, hell, I can go as far as on the bench. Kobe Brown, Amir Coffey. If you disrespect anybody on my team, you're not coming on my podcast. That's for damn sure. I'm not giving you the light of day. You get enough airtime on TV between Stephen A's World and ESPN First Take. My podcast doesn't need you on there if you're talking against us. And that's the problem I have with the situation. I understand what Paul George is saying, and I agree. You want to go out there and destroy everybody and make an example out of the NBA, and hopefully that's what the Clippers do. Hopefully him and Kawhi just make an example out of every team they come against. You know what I'm saying? And really wreak havoc. That'd be great. But at the same time, don't have people like Stephen A on your show who is talking negative about your teammates, who's talking negative about your number one guy in Kawhi Leonard, who's talking negative about your team and talk negative about you basically in regards to you guys not getting it done. Yeah, he doesn't say nothing about you specifically, but I mean, if he's talking about one of your teammates, he's talking about you. Because when you're trying to build and win a championship, it's one for all. We're all unified. We're all as one. We're a team. You talk about one of us, you talk about all of us. You fight one of us, you fight all of us. And that's the mentality the Clippers got to have. And this is the reason why I said I don't agree with Paul George having Stephen A on his show, because it kind of contradicts what he's saying about, things about people, naysayers and things like that. It contradicts that because you had one on your show that you basically praised and spoke so highly of and all these things, knowing that he's the one that's basically an enemy towards your team. He's the one that says all the negative things about Kawhi Leonard and the team and all these things, and you're sitting up there praising somebody like that. So if I'm Paul George, don't allow that to happen no more. Just go out there and shut up and play. Don't have this podcast P with people like that on there, because that's having a naysayer right in front of your face and somebody who is talking negative about your team. But then when y'all do good for a little while, then he'll throw a little praise in there every now and then. So, I mean, it's like you don't need that. And this is why I said the Clippers don't need that type of environment around them. So as far as what Paul George says, yeah, go out there and shut everybody up. Go out there and play hard. I hope you and Kawhi ball out this whole season. But since now that you guys are going to take the regular season seriously, I can't wait to see it. I'm anticipating to see exactly how that goes and how that ends up, especially with your schedule being so ridiculous of having so many away games and more than any other team and all this other type stuff. So I hope the Clippers do go out there and really prove it. I really do. And I hope Paul George does the best he can. And I hope Kawhi Leonard plays like the superstar that he can be, and really shut all their haters up in the end. Because honestly, whether Paul George puts somebody on podcast P or not, you got to try to win a championship, and you got to win one with this team because, Paul George, I'm not going to say his legacy or, his Hall of Fame status is in the balance, but this could really help his Hall of Fame status even more and help his career even more in regards to being one of the elite players, of this era. Because he helped, build a team with another superstar, and they won a championship together, and they did it the right way. And it was a journey, but it worked out for the best. So hopefully that's how it goes. And hopefully all the naysayers will be, put to rest soon. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments and we'll talk about it.